Alright, so hello YouTube.
아직 계시나?
Right now I'm watching a
당신도 엊그젠가
Yasuo
저 수출업
versus
하셨잖아요.
Akali matchup, right? Uh, if
좋게
in
받아들이십시다.
case you don't know how the
좋게
Akali and Yasuo matchup
받아들이십시다. 무슨
works,
말이죠?
here I am. I'm doing a gameplay review, little bit of Pzzang coaching in here, right? We are watching how does a challenger player and explaining of course to lower ranked people why he does this and that and how to play around Akali so you understand his movements a little bit better, right? This matchup could go possibly either ways, right? Like, I assume there are strong points for Akali and for Yasuo too. Both of them kinda like these short trade styled fighting, right? So most of the times they will short trade until they all in, generally speaking. Um, Then again, when Yasuo gets shield bow and Akali gets her own item, her own mythic, proto belt generally, that's what she goes for. Then Yasuo is usually a bit stronger, although shield bow got definitely nerfed through the time. But I would still say Yasuo with shield bow should be able to beat Akali, right? Especially between minions, W up, everything up, right? Now he's hovering on the bot side of the map because the reason for that is to avoid the early game invade. You don't always want to sit there, depends on the situation. Like if they have some type of champions like Blitzcrank or anything, if the enemy team collapses from this side, you might be in trouble, or from this side, right? So that can be a bummer, but generally it's okay if you hover around like this area of the map and try to guard against a possible invade. Although I like guarding in here because it's a bit safer than sitting in here, but that's just my opinion because Jinx is already covering this area and it's a bit safer to stay in here because if by chance we get collapsed on, then it can go really badly, right? They have a Nautilus, right? That's it's a bit unsafe, but it reveals them a bit earlier, right? But I would sit in here, it's definitely safer, right? Like it just you notice them a bit later, but you have more space, I would say, to escape, right? Okay. So the game begins. He went for Conqueror instead of Lethal Tempo. For that, his reasoning might be he faces Akali and some other Yasuo players play Conqueror. His AD scaling got buffed on his Q. I do suppose the reason for that is that it's hard to get lethal tempo stacks on Akali. She will sit between minions, so it's hard to get like Q lethal tempo stacks on her, and she has the W invisibility, right? And her E to disengage, so it's hard to stack and maintain lethal tempo on her, right? Now the same thing may apply to Conqueror as well, so I'm not quite sure the reasoning for it, but for example if you Q through a minion, you get the Conqueror stack, but if you Q through a minion, you don't get a lethal tempo stack, right? So, I mean, definitely your all-in potential early on will be stronger with the lethal tempo, right? That's how I see it. And the lethal tempo still scales decently into the game. So you see his movement, by the way, right? We can see his dash is like he's playing this out really smartly because he doesn't know yet if Akali started E or W, right? And he plays around her energy as well. So he gets level 2 soon, he Qs the minion, he tries to Q the minion and Akali, that was his reasoning, right? So he gets a knock up and gets level 2, look, watch out for this one, right? He gets level 2 as I said, right? And in here Akali, he's 36 on energy, right? We can see it correctly. And if I check it up on leak reps, I don't know exactly her energy cost, but it's like 50. It's around 50, but I can check it up really quick. Let's see her E-mana cost, right? I mean energy cost, of course. So the energy, oh, it's actually 30. It's really low. It's lower than I thought. So Akali should have enough energy for her E, right? If she made her E, we don't know yet, right? But here's the thing. Look at the Pzzang's movement. Really important. Watch out. So he sidesteps because if Akali would E, then she would miss it. Then she E's again to confuse Akali, right? And then he's looking for an all-in angle because even if she hits her E, what happens is she's gonna get like outscaled by Yasuo in here, right? So he dashes again, right? Auto attacks. Watch out on his movement, right? And he's playing around her E. Like he's playing around her E so well actually. Look. And he dashes again to dodge the E. Akali didn't throw it yet. Maybe he made his W, we don't know yet, right? But he's playing really carefully around her E. He sidesteps, he E's. He's really clean with his movement, right? Even now he is, right? We can see, no, she made her W. And he goes back again, right? Really smart movement because he knows for a reason Akali has no more fuel. She has no energy right now, she already queued. He has way more HP than she does, and now he gets an all-in angle because most of the Akali players, they play with Ignite TP, but some of them play Flash Ignite, right? So let's see if he all-ins. He should dash through this minion and he should be able to get the first blood. Look. Auto Q, perfect. Oh, she plays with Flash, okay. Okay. I was thinking he could maybe EQ Flash on her, but it's not realistic in this matchup. It's not really gonna happen in here. Okay, so the guy, he sees the Viego, he's playing safely. Net. The one, oh yes, really smart. This is what I wanted to point out. So, when you're going for an all-in, and right now he can't parry anything. He can't parry anything from Akali because her E is her only skill shot, which she haven't made yet. So the reasoning why he places 2 points in his Q, Viego is not around to W gank, right? And his W doesn't provide anything until Akali does not have E. But even then, his reasoning for it, he has more damage output with Q if he puts points in it, and W is more so a defensive ability. So he needs to like swing in as much damage as possible with this Q in here, right? In here earlier on, because that means that it's easier to die for as well. You will have more damage when you are under her. So in here, you see really smartly, he puts a point in his Q before he tornadoes, right? Or he does it after, but I suppose it affects it anyway, so I'm not sure, right? And in here we can correctly see that he went for another auto attack, really well played from his part. And in here possibly he could just Keyblade in here, no? Like he could EQ Flash on her Ignite, no? That's what I assume. He has 4 Conqueror stacks, he has the E stack as well, like he could E through her as well, which means his E is stacked up, so it should deal lots of damage. So this is like an outplay you can go for. She hasn't got E yet. She has no flash, right? She has W though, right? Let's see. Pzzang, he dashes. I think it's a bit greedy to dash like that without Q up because it will force her away from your position, right? Maybe he will look for an EQ flash, watch out. Predicts, no he doesn't, he couldn't manage. Okay. He EQs again, look, watch out on his movement, so he's constantly fishing for E's on minions to get a Q on her. That's what he's looking for. He's watching out for the Viego. He was around, right? He's padding upwards, so he needs to be a little bit careful because he might collapse on him, right? Or he will bump into Diana, so why he pushes in here? Because he needs priority for the Diana, right? And he maybe wants to dive the Akali, right? That's a really clean Q, really clean E as well, and Akali possibly doesn't know that Yasuo has no W, possibly, right? Because that's why she didn't E, right? Or maybe because he was sidestepping, right? So we can see like his sidestep. Akali, it's unsure. Akali is really unsure in here, like if she can E or not, because he doesn't know Yasuo has W or not, and he E'd instantly, which placed her into a but I suppose she couldn't really E because if she E's, she will go a bit backwards, then she will go backwards, then she has to recast it, and it's a bit of a awkward spot to E into a Yasuo. Now he will take his shield down probably with his E. I'm not sure if it was up. I think it wasn't up at that time when she had an opportunity to E, but Yasuo would have tornado, so it's questionable if she would kill, right? I like that. He couldn't ignite in time, but it's fine. Oof, it was a bit risky, so he had a slight bit of a mistake. He couldn't ignite in time, but it's not a big deal, it's fine. He could manage to like save himself from a tower shot, but it's not a big deal. He's rotating, so really smart by the way. Instead of recalling, he's rotating for this. So Viego gonna be level 3, right? And Diana will have a scatter scrub advantage, and possibly she will double scatter, right? Which also, it's a bit dangerous, but Akali can't rotate in time. Oh, that was such a good W, right? That was such a good W from his side. He saw the W from Viego, so he just reacted to it. And that flash was really good one from his side. The reasoning for his flash is that if he doesn't flash this from this angle, Poppy will smash him into the wall and he will die, right? Akali is coming to, right? So this clean, yeah, so the Poppy was positioning behind the Yasuo, right? In the sense that he wants to get like a knock on him into the wall, right? You can see like she was going downwards with her W speed, so if Yasuo doesn't flashes, he gets an E angle on him in the wall. That's the reasoning why he flashed in here, if anybody is confused, right? That. And now he flashes, and Poppy E's him, as I said, right? But he predicts it, or he reacts to it, right? And he just flashes in here, which puts Poppy in an awkward spot, because the sight that Poppy doesn't stance Yasuo, now she's in a bad spot. And he even dashes through him, which leads into another escape route, right? He sidesteps possibly? Or can he? EQs? And he walked for the shield, right? If he doesn't walk, he would die. So this was extremely well played from his part. So he was EQing in here because it just to possibly predict the Q on him, so he dodges it, or to dodge her E if he times it well. Like there is a word where that actually works out, but in here the movement is really important. Pay attention to the movement. The reason why he walked upwards is that get the shield, right? If he auto attacks her instead of getting the shield, he would be dead, and it's a 1-for-1, right? It's not so good. So now he doesn't greed on the wave. There is a reason for it. Viego could be around, you know, he's dead in one combo, right? So he doesn't greed. The wave is pushing towards him. Really good recall, berserker boots, refillable, perfect recall for him. Even a control bar, right? That should be good to have a vision control, right? So now he's extremely ahead over the Akali. She has 12 CS. She died quite a lot of times. He has berserker boots, basically full build, refillable, really strong spot to be in, right? Really mechanical player. It's really important to pause to look at the smaller, like as a Yasuo player, if you're a Yasuo player, it's really important to pause, look at the mechanics, look at the side steps, look at the ease, right? There are so many things to pay attention to. Now in here, he gave it a bit of a softer approach, and look at his W. Now, Akali is not too dangerous to W her, but look, the minion wave. This W tanks so many minions, shots 4 seconds, the wave lasts 4 seconds, so her E is not too dangerous, right, but he can W that, but mainly he W'd for the wave itself, because there is so much aggro on him that this would reduce a lot of damage, right, 100, 200 damage, right, which could be more than Akali's E, that's the thing, right. And here he continues. I don't know why did he back off, or maybe he would die to an Akali, maybe. It's just kinda odd that this fight is so close, yet he's so ahead with everything, but this fight was a bit close, but he managed to sidestep Hori, and he managed to kill him. I was just wondering how isn't this just a stat check, because apparently Akali has still some win condition in her. Like, I assume because he didn't have W yet anymore against the wave, and basically the big wave was aggroing on him. One thing he could do a bit more correctly if he would refillable from the start, but he does it right now, so it's not a big deal. He dashes out because he wants to de-aggro, right? You saw everything de-aggroed from him when he dashed out. So the minions got aggroed instead of him, right? And now he's looking to sidestep. Like, watch his movement. He was here and he went downwards. He has to sidestep, right? His movement is really important to watch out for. Like, you are constantly playing around fire. You're constantly like, look his movement, right? So the minion dies, right? We see the minion dies, which means he hasn't got cover anymore against the Akali Z, right? In here the minion dies, and look, since he does not have cover anymore, he has to sidestep. And look at his movement. Watch out for his movement, right? He sidesteps really perfectly, and then we just go for another all-in, right? We get her. Now one way to play this out safer, he could then possibly wait for Diana. But it's not a big deal because he probably could find an escape route, you know, if Viego shows up, but that would be a little bit safer. Okay, so Irikas, I would take plates, honestly. I mean, maybe he's scared of the enemy bot lane, the support could roam with Viego, so that can be a problem, right? Viego standalone can't really beat us in a 1v1 because he's behind compared to Yasuo. I don't feel like he should win a 1v1, honestly. While being one level ahead, Yasuo has item advantages. I don't feel like he should win it, but Apparently Akali already arrived. He gets 2 daggers, right? So he has no lethal tempo right now, so he needs to reset that Q as fast as possible, right?
털이 죽긴 했는데 아마 나도 죽었을 것 같다.
Okay, so what my man does in here is that he came to the lane, he's almost 6, Akali is 4, insane advantage, and now I think he will do the really smart thing. He should step up, zone her away from cannon, and if she tries to E it, he can face tank it, but he can also W it, and denying cannon means she loses 60-70 gold, which is 100% worth. Also he can fight with Akali if he wants to, right? He can deny this cannon in many ways, I like that. Okay. That was like a really good fight, like he really knows when to pick these fights. He's extremely ahead, he's forcing these fights, right? He has vision control on the bottom side of the map, on the top side of it, and even if Viego comes, Akali would possibly die anyway, so he could escape, turn over the fight, you know, like this guy really knows the patterns of where to escape, how to 1v2, right? So definitely he would manage to 1v2,
시간 잔뜩 먹었네.
or at least get a kill and make it a 1-for-1, right? But both sides are warded, so it's generally like a safe way to engage, right? Now bot lane got pinged, they are missing, right? 3 level advantages already, that's a lot. 3 level advantages, right? She's straight up hinting at this point in the chat. Akali, hello. Well, you know, even in higher ranks there is like certainly a skill difference between people, like there are some one tricks and there are some casual players. Now there was a slight mistake from his part, but like you shouldn't EQ on Akali, you should just E forward and then Q, because she can E or EQ, but if she like if you E towards her and Q after, if she is backwards you can just Q that and ult, but then it would be a 1-for-1, which is kinda not worth, I assume, because she would be under tower, and I do think so it would be probably a 1-for-1. There is a risk out of it, and he has a big bounty, so it's definitely not worth for him, right? I wouldn't even risk to EQ her like that, right? Not sure if he would like get out of it. Okay, another Q. He's taking up his tornado because he knows that Akali's Z is not up yet, so he's forcing. Now it's up, okay. Definitely forcing these fights when he is this ahead, right? Now he picks up the plant for some healing, right? No, he doesn't. He just recalls. He actually goes there. Like Diana was there hovering around with her ultimate. They have Azir for knockups, Rakan. Like this is a Yasuo team from generally speaking, right? So definitely we pick up the pop. Oh, she doesn't ult. She doesn't. I guess it's fine. Guess it's fine. Okay. Like this is an insanely, this is like a bad dream, an insanely good comp for a Yasuo player. He W's a bit early on to avoid the Akali, of course. Could he play it a little bit better? Let's rewatch it. Could he play it a little better? So he W's if she is, right? Maybe he could ban EQ, instead of Eing her to close the gap, he could ban EQ the minion, I assume. Ignite her and then E after her, no? Like maybe there is a ward where if he E's this, he would gap close, then he has another dash to stick on her, no? Oh, he missed, he didn't even EQ the Akali, he just missed. So he should ban E forward and tornado, He didn't even like, it wasn't actually close. Stacks up his tornado again, right? Predicts really good. He doesn't commit because he knows for a reason that will be most likely a 1-for-1, which even Diego could hover around. I mean, who knows, it's risky. She has her W up, right? We don't know. So his thought process is like, it's not worth for him to risk a 1-for-1, right? It's risky. Although yeah, definitely there is a risk out of it. Maybe probably like if he doesn't commit for it, he definitely knows that it's not worth. Like I was thinking maybe if he ults, Qs, ignites, it would kill, but I'm not sure if it's quite enough. So she Ws, right? He watches out for this type. So he fake recalled because his thought process was she gonna waste her E on the wave, she gonna waste her W. She didn't waste her E yet, but she wasted her um, the other thing, right? Her W, which allows Yasuo to engage on her more easily soon, right? So he was actually fishing for him to use his abilities to shove, right? For example, there is a Galio. You can fake recall, like you sit in here, and if there is a Galio, for example, Galio gonna E forward, Q auto attack the wave, and he does not have E to escape anymore, right? He doesn't have his Q, he can't fight you anymore, and you might just all in him because he's too deep in the wave. He's too deep in the wave and he has nothing, so this is like a good strat to do. I would say like lots of lower elo players would fall for it, so definitely worth to do it, even higher ranked one, right? So he is, watch out, right? Qs, right? Really good movement prediction. Oh, Akali outplayed that. Mm-hmm. This is a mechanical, like she seems to be bad, but she has some mechanics as well, right? Like she's definitely not bad. So we can see he auto attacks her really good. He is, and Akali ulted right now, right? Watch out, Akali ulted right now. And basically what happens, she is right after to dodge the EQ from Yasuo, which is extremely well played from her part, right? Um, let's see what happens. So he missed his EQ. Now what he could do is probably just E and look to tornado after after her E, right? If in case she predicts it. But that's kind of hard to like predict it like that because it's such a fast ability if you EQ with Yasuo, right? But it's possible. Definitely it's possible to react. So he disengages and he flash. Oh, she tried something, but she's too behind. She's too behind to go for these type of plays, but ironically enough, he's so ahead, but it's still like these fights are so close. Like, yeah. So she flashes. Maybe he thought Yasuo will flash, but his flash is not up yet. Yep, and he just outplays him. He just outplays her.
아칼리 방금 실수한 거 같아. 강하게 평타 안 맞은 거 같아.
Now he's watching out for Viego. Really important. If you're low, you should watch out if Viego could be around. So he will genuinely like hover around the top side of the map. Probably should then hover around the top sides because we have vision around that. I don't know if it's a great idea for him to walk downwards like that because we have no vision whatsoever. Viego could already path towards us or towards this fight. He could be around, so I wouldn't risk such. But let's see what he does. Viego is already here actually. I didn't see it. Okay. Didn't see it because so many people were stacking on top of each other. Alright. Okay, so what happens in here? He doesn't contest, he has so much gold on him, there is no reason for him to try to force himself to go for any type of place. He's totally fine with giving up the Drake is only 4% damage. It's actually 4% adaptive damage, AP or AD depending what your champ goes for, so it's like early on it's so low that you don't wanna risk. If you have a bounty, you don't have a risk for it. You don't have a smite on Yasuo, so lots of lower rank players would try to go for some type of play. You have too much gold on you. You don't wanna go for this type of plays. Side of that, he went for Zil. You can see he didn't rush his item. His how's it called? Uh, he didn't directly rush his shield bow, he went for Zil. The reasoning for Zil is it's really valuable, the mobility on Yasuo in certain matchups where you need to sidestep abilities, space around them, or if you need that extra chasing power, right? Like that it's definitely a decent item to buy it early on. I wouldn't say in every matchup because there are some dangerous matchups where you generally wanna rush shield bow, you need that shield bow sustain, that you need that vampiric scepter early on, you need that shield bow shield, right? Because if you are facing like a really dangerous matchup, or even if the matchup isn't even good against Yasuo, but you suck against it, then I would definitely recommend you to go for shield bow because it's really good as a defensive option even after so many nerfs, right? Zeal, it just provides you more snowballiness, right? He's already ahead, provides more snowballiness, mobility, crit, attack speed, everything that Yasuo likes, right? It just makes the champion feel a bit smoother, faster, everything all. Should then, by the way, rotate on top lane, not on bot lane, mid lane I mean, because Azir is already here, so he should then just rotate top side from my opinion. And then what happens with Diana, he could then collapse on the next person that shows up, right? He actually rotates top lane. He went mid lane, but he decided to switch his path. That's good. Actually, what happens in here? I mean, Azir could stay for the next wave and he could then take the top wave. I mean, Yasuo definitely beats that Poppy that's behind, so I don't think so there is any issue with that, rotating like that. So again, he was staying in there, stacks up his tornado, you see. Like, his auto attacks are really clean. You see, like, I go a little bit backwards, right? He dashes in and look, he really clean. By the way, what he should ban do, he should ban auto Q, not Q auto attack, just because it's a bit faster, but that's definitely fine as well. Because here's the thing, like, your auto attack has a shorter range, and your Q has a longer range, right? So it just means that you will have more space to Q later on, right? But it's not a big deal, you can do it whichever way do you want to. I think it's slightly faster if you do it the way I said, but I don't have any issue if you do it reverse. Still could work, it's just a bit slower. Okay, so in here what happened? Let's see it again. I was talking too much. So we see the Viego there, right? Poppy is missing. Poppy is in a bad spot right now because Azir will slow push into him. He can't do anything against an Azir because it's a ranged matchup and Poppy kind of falls off against lots of ranged matchups, especially because Azir has such a good DPS. He's actually an underrated good top laner in some matchups, right? So in here his map awareness fall off a little bit, we can see it, right? So top is missing, we don't see the jungle, we have some vision control top side, nothing on bot side. Now he's trying to force a fight on Akali. His thought process is like, he can get a kill, that's totally fine. That's totally fine, but what happens after might not be worth for him, because here's the thing, if he 1-for-1s, right, this is a 1-for-1 as I see, what will happen is that he will give up more gold because of the bounty itself, so I don't feel like it's worth for you to risk, because I think you can definitely like fight the Akali when we have more vision. We have time until, like, we don't have to desperately push, it's 11 minutes. We can take the plates later on, we don't have to like kill quickly the Akali as fast as possible, we don't have to rush it. We could then play it a bit safer, and then what happens eventually, we're gonna get a tower, we're gonna be really ahead on the curve if we play it out safely, right? Because like Azir is not really gankable if he has ultimate, and even otherwise he has lots of vision on the top side of the map, so if he pushes he might just push for free. It's really hard to collapse on him, so I think like he should then probably like pick the fight when the pressure, like there isn't like a jungle top lane pressure anymore, right? Like most of the top laners, what they will do, if they can't lane, they get freeze down, they get slow push down, whatever, they will just go for a random roam, and sometimes it works out. Like I've seen even like Garen players, whatever, like they just, some people just, there isn't like much better to do than roam sometimes if you get freeze down, right? Or some people are just tilted as well, of course. Okay, now Diana is hovering around. Ooh, takes some tower shots, but he should be able to heal up, right? Diana commits. Really good. Really good. Insane. Like a really good combination of champions, right? Now what else happens in here?
라카는 보통 잘하는데.
He Qs. Alright. So now he has his shield bow, I assume? I don't think so he wants to recall though, cause Poppy... I don't think so Poppy can do anything. He's like... Poppy can't really comprehend that that Herald, he can't steal it. So they want to dive, okay, it's respectable. Take the Scuttle Scrap first. I would actually skip the Scuttle Scrap, but I do think so. Yeah, like I think he could then take the Scuttle Scrap later on, like it will stay in one position. I don't think so he will have his tornado by the time, yeah. I would, but it's fine, But I would definitely skip Scuttle, then go back for it later on. I think it's just greedy to go for it first instead of the dive, because some people could show up, or I don't know, they might just randomly die before you appear. You definitely don't want that, right? Now, his rune, I'm not sure if Conqueror is quite better this game, but he can get a lots of, like, definitely he can get a lots of Conqueror stacks. He healed for 193 with his Conqueror.
Nope,
It's not
fine.
too much, but it's more so a damage oriented item or rune. Now his first item, Mortal Reminder, he could buy it on curve, maybe that's why he brought it. Uh, he's 819 on curve, it's a good item. They have some level of healings. Samila will progressively heal more. Diego has healing. He has his divine. He has his conqueror. He has his he from his kit he heals. Triumph heal conqueror users, right? So they definitely have healing. I wouldn't really rush into it, but I assume the power it gives in the present moment,
So,
it
fine.
definitely makes it for him to be worth. But I would rather go for that dance and maybe get an executioner after it, because that dance is just so OP this game, since his team is so high on damage and it's so easy to get a reset on them. The armor is really valuable, they are really high on AD damage. I mean, they have AP champions, but as we can see, the AP champions are useless. Akali is not a threat. If she's AP, she's not really a threat right now. Nautilus has some level of AP damage, Poppy has a little bit of AP damage, but that dance is definitely a good second purchase. Infinity, definitely a good purchase, right? I mean, there are options you can definitely go for. I'm not a big fan of like Mortar Reminder Rush, but it's good on curve. Maybe he feels like they will 15 it or something, so that's it's definitely good on curve. Like you can buy it, it's good, but then later on it might not be as good, right? Okay, so I couldn't. Mhm. He ulted, he committed with his ultimate, that's really good from his part. He directly intentionally, like watch out, he intentionally doesn't ease the Poppy when he had the opportunity because of her W, which would knock him up and it wouldn't like grant him anything. So his Qs are really clean, his E's are really clean, we all can see. So this was like a generally really good game from Pzzang's part. This shows you how to play the Akali matchup mechanically early on. You gotta be mechanically good early on. That's like one of the important things to know about the matchup. Now here's the thing, you can play it out safer if you want to. You can rush into shield bow against Akali. If you want to, you can play with exhaust or barrier against Akali. If you want to go more defensive, it's up to you, right? Then again, you rush shield bow instead of getting zeal, so it means that you will be a bit more tanky. It's easier to survive if you feel like you're in bad in the matchup, so that's definitely okay as well, right? Then if they have a lot of AP, you can choose to go for Witsend for even more defensive stats, but that's just like kinda insecure. Kinda insecure to go for that much defensive stats, but you can definitely go for it if you wanna counter her specifically, right? Now that's it for now with the Akali and Yon matchup. I mean not Yon Yasuo, right? This is how you should definitely like play it out.